Yo, this your boy, the Real McCoy, coming at you, man. We talking about boxing, man, for all my boxing heads out there, man. Just had another good weekend of boxing, man. A fight that a lot of us was looking forward to, you know what I mean, over the weekend, pay-per-view. First things first, man, congratulations to Gennady Golovkin, Triple G. His victory over David Lemieux. TKO, I believe, in the, I think it was the 8th round. I thought he was going to get a clean knockout, clean KO, but he got the TKO. Either way it goes to stoppage. You know what I mean? They on the undercard, you had our Roman Gonzalez, Chocolatito. He got his stoppage against Brian Villarreal. Brian Villarreal, you guys know I chop up names, man. Nothing personal, I don't know. Anyway, I think it was the 6th round for him. He got his knockout, so it was definitely, you know, a good weekend of boxing, man. And so I was like, you know what, what's next for these guys? What's next for Triple G? What's next for Roman Gonzalez? And you know, and it was funny that these two guys fought on the same night. You know, it was Roman Gonzalez on Triple G's undercard. But you know, because Triple G, Roman Gonzalez, it seems like for the next year at least, maybe 2, but at least for the next year, you know what I mean, 6 months to a year, something like that. As long as these guys keep winning, their names are going to be intertwined together for the simple fact, as far as pound for pound. You know what I mean? If pound for pound king of the sport, or pound for pound the best fighter in the sport. A lot of Triple G has a lot of backing for that spot. Now that Floyd Mayweather is retired, and I guess Manny Pacquiao's in hiatus, or he retired. I think he's coming back. And you know, and a lot of people say Roman Gonzalez is that guy, you know. So as long as these guys keep winning, their names are going to keep being mentioned, you know what I mean? As they should. These are two very good, solid, talented fighters, no doubt about it. You know, now as far as what's next, like, 'cause Triple G, he set the standard, the bar high for himself, you know what I mean? He's definitely set the bar high for himself. And what I mean by that is, to be a great fighter and continuously to be great and continuously doing it, you have to continuously prove it. You know, it's not like baseball, you know, right now they're in their playoffs, October baseball, things like that, NFL, NBA, stuff like that, hockey, where at the end of the season, someone is crowned a champion, and then there's an off season and all that good stuff. That's not the case. It's, you know, you have to continuously prove yourself over and over and over and over. So what I'm saying is, with Triple G, because he set the standard high as he has, that we can't just accept any old opponents anymore. Now Teddy Atlas, he believed David Lemieux came from the same crop as the rest of the guys, the Willie Monroes, the David Gills, the rest of the guys that Triple G has beaten. I personally thought David Lemieux was a slight step up from the rest of those guys, in my opinion. You know, I agree with a lot of things that Teddy Atlas said. You know, he promotes TBR. You guys know I do as well, Transnational Boxing Rankings, TBR. They had David Lemieux number 4 ranked middleweight, and on their rankings, you know, behind they got Cotto as a crowned champion, Golovkin number 1 challenger, Kid Chocolate, Andy Lee, and then David Lemieux. So I thought it was a step up for Triple G. But at this point now, because the standard that he set for himself, we just can't accept any old fights anymore. And you know, I mean, you guys, if you follow my, you know, wow, he's retired now. I was a big time, huge Floyd Mayweather fan, big time fan. But at the same time, if you guys go back and watch the video I made, I wasn't thrilled when he announced he was going to be fighting Andre Berto. I wasn't thrilled about that at all. You know, and the same thing when Manny Pacquiao was fighting Chris Algeria, Brandon Rios. I wasn't thrilled at all. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, I mean, for Floyd Mayweather, whoever's fighting me personally, I keep the same criteria for everybody. I have no bias. I show no favoritism for any fighter. I don't care about your race, your creed, your nationality, if you gay, straight, whatever, conservative, liberal. I don't care. Religion, I don't care. I keep the same criteria for all fighters across the board. You know what I'm saying? So the same standard I held. I mean, there were other names out there that Floyd Mayweather could. Now, Andre Berto put up a good, solid fight. I thought better effort than Manny Pacquiao, in my opinion. But I thought there were better names for him to fight out there, especially at 147. You know what I mean? We already know who some of those names are, and I hold Triple G to those same standards, or whoever. I say I have no favoritism towards anybody. You know what I mean? I hold Triple G to those same standards. So what I'm saying is, I don't want to see Triple G, his next fight, be the winner of a Andy Lee and a Billy Joe Saunders fight. But they fighting two solid middleweights. Say TBR, they've got Andy Lee ranked number 3 on their rankings for middleweight, and I think Billy Joe Saunders, who's also undefeated. I think he's 22-0, 6 knockouts, not a lot of power there. But I think they're set to fight in December. I think he's ranked number 6, 7, something like that, 8, maybe 9 on their middleweight rankings for TBR. 2 solid fighters, but both of those guys, I mean, I don't see those guys beating Triple G. So I don't want to see Triple G fighting the winner of a Andy Lee, Billy Joe Saunders fight at all. You know what I mean? Most of us want to see, now me personally, I think I want to see Triple G fight Andre Ward. You know, now most fans, we challenge these fighters to be great. Move up in weight, do all these things. You know what I mean? People want to Floyd Mayweather. You want to be great, move up to middleweight like Thomas Hearns did to fight Marvin Marvelous Hagler. You know what I mean? Or I think Hearns ended up going up to cruiserweight. Maybe I think it was light heavy or cruiser. I can't remember off the top of my head. Roy Jones Jr. started off at 154. You know what I mean? And he went up with 02, 03. He ended up winning the WBA, I think, heavyweight championship from Johnny Ruiz. So move up, you know what I mean? So if these other great fighters can do it, then Triple G can do the same thing. You know what I mean? Move up and wait and fight an Andre Ward, you know what I mean? Or like I say, you can't, I don't want to see you fight the winner of a Andy Lee and Billy Joe Saunders fight when they fight in December. I don't want to see that. I want to see you fight the winner of Canelo Cotto. Maybe even the winner of Daniel Jacobs and Peter Quillin, Kid Chocolate, Peter Quillin. They fight in December. I think a week before the Andy Lee, Billy Joe Saunders fight in December. You know what I mean? So the standard has to be accepted across the board, no matter who. There's no, I show no bias for nobody. You know what I mean? If all these other guys can move up, he can do the same. If you don't feel like there's any competition at middleweight, then move up to super middle and fight Andre Ward. You know, I'm not saying anybody's ducking. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the standard has to be across the board. It's got to be even for everybody. Mayweather moved up, Pacquiao moved up, Roy. I mean, guys moving up in weight. That's not one of the most common things in boxing. It's kind of like a catchweight. You know what I mean? One of the most common things in boxing. But you get the sense from a lot of, especially diehard Triple G fans, is like they're okay. They're just fine with everybody else that got to move up. But they're okay with Triple G just staying in middleweight and not really fighting top-notch competition and just crowning him #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I mean, you're just a no bias, even boxing fan like myself. That's unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? That's unacceptable. Like I said, I was a huge Floyd Mayweather fan, but I'd have been pissed off if Floyd Mayweather fought Brandon Rios. Get out of here. You see what I'm saying? And I'm a huge Floyd fan, so I show no favoritism to nobody. Have no bias towards nobody. It's the same criteria across the board. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he's in a division where there's not a lot of competition there, I'm not going to take that away from you, but you need to go challenge. But at the same time, I can't say, okay, yeah, you're the best fighter in the world. Can't do it. I can't do it. You got to fight these guys. I'm pretty sure he will. Now, if these guys don't want to fight you, unfortunately, to be #1 in the world, you got to move up super middleweight, fight Andre Ward. If you want it, I challenge you to be great. Triple G, go up to light heavy and fight a Kovalev or Adonis Stevenson, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Roy Jones went from 54 to heavy. I mean, over a longevity of his career, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, you can't fight no Andy Lee. You can't be fighting a rematch with, not saying it's going to happen, but a rematch with Willie Monroe Jr. Something like that. You know, I doubt that'll ever happen. I mean, that won't happen. But you see what I'm saying? He set the bar high for himself now. You know what I mean? So, like Teddy Atlas said. Now, Teddy Atlas, he said it a little bit more adamantly than I said, a little more, you know, Teddy Atlas to get passionate about it. But he's saying he's basically tired of seeing Triple G fight these type of guys. I personally thought David Lemieux was a step up in competition from what he's fought prior for Triple G, in my opinion. But like I say, from 154 to 168, from super welter to junior middle up to super welter, from 154 to 168, the only person I will say that can beat Triple G is Andre Ward. Maybe Kid Chocolate Peter Quillen. Maybe because his solid punching power, his skill set, athleticism, and his boxing skill. Now Daniel Jacobs got some great punching power as well. You know what I mean? I think when him and Kid Chocolate fight in December, I believe in the Barclays Center, 2 Brooklyn guys, should be a good fight. He's got some punching power. I just think that Kid Chocolate is a little bit more skilled than him. But back to Triple G, I'm just saying, from 154 to 168, the only person I would say would beat him is Andre Ward, and that's it. So I'm not saying these guys would beat him, Triple G, but at the end of the day, you got to step in the ring and you got to fight. You know what I'm saying? You got to prove it. I can't just anoint you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to prove it now. David Lemieux's a good step up. You know what I mean? You got to fight a Cotto Canelo winner, Kid Chocolate, or a Daniel Jacobs winner. Move up to super and fight Andre Ward. You know what I'm saying? Other guys have moved up as well. You know, it just seems like a lot of fans, they just accept that Triple G can just stay at middleweight. I'm like, no. I mean, if you stay at middleweight, you need to fight the top guys. You know what I mean? I don't want to see you fighting with Billy Joe Saunders. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to Billy Joe, but you know what I'm saying? I really don't want to see you fight Andy Lee. Now, Andy Lee did fight Kid Chocolate to a draw on PBC. You know what I mean? But I think they fought again. I think Kid Chocolate, because I think he would beat Andy Lee. He was kind of coming off a layoff, kind of. I think that was like coming into that fight. I think that was like his second or third fight over the last like a 2 years, something like that. But Andy Lee's a solid fighter, but at the end of the day, no, you know what I'm saying? And that's good for Triple G. I mean, he set the bar, the standard high. It's high for Triple G now, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. You know what I mean? Just that now, as fans, okay, now you set the bar here. You've got to meet it. You've got to meet it now. You know, as people to crown you the best fighter in the world, like a lot of people have. You know what I'm saying? Which I wouldn't be adamantly, no, he's not. No, he's not. Triple G's a great fighter. Great fighter. I think he'll beat Cotto Canelo. I think he'll beat the winner of Daniel Jacobs and Kid Chocolate. All of them. I think he'll beat Billy Joe Saunders. I think he'll beat Andy Lee. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think these guys will beat him, but at the end of the day, you gotta fight him. Now, I'm not saying these guys are ducking Triple G. I'm not saying he's ducking it. That's not what I'm not getting into that ducking game. I'm just saying, if you want to be the top guy, or you know what I mean, you gotta you set the bar now. You've got to meet it. You know what I'm saying? If none of these guys at 160 want to fight you, then move up. I mean, like I say, I think Roy started off at 154, moved up to heavyweight. I think Roy is still actively fighting. You know what I mean? Look what Bernard Hopkins did. He's done it. You know, James Toney went up from middle all the way up to heavyweight. You know what I mean? So it can be. There's no different for Triple G. I mean, the standard is still set for him too. He's no different. You know, but these guys, I'm not saying that Triple G should go up and fight Deontay Wilder. I'm not saying that. But at the end of the day, we can't just, like I said, like Triple G, I have no bias towards anybody. I just can't see you. I can't accept you still fighting the same guy, same type of guys over and over. You got over 30 fights now. Okay, it's time. It's time. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And then you got Roman Gonzalez, El Chocolatito. You know what I mean? He's 44-0 now, 38 knockouts. I think that's like an 80%, 86% knockout ratio. Pretty good, pretty solid. You know what I mean? A lot of people are saying that he's #1 on the pound for pound list. You know what I mean? I believe TBR has the #1 on pound for pound. I made a video about him about 2 or 3 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Solid fighter. I think Villarreal was ranked #4 on TBR's flyweight division, #4. So he's beating the top guys, things like that. Now the same goes. Like I said, I like Roman Gonzalez. The same criteria fits for him too. Now there isn't a lot of, as far as, you know, 122 down at flyweight, 115 junior bantam, and you know what I mean, 118 on super bantamweight. There isn't much competition or fight there. There are a lot of fight. Like I said before, that casual fans, they don't really watch the guys below featherweight. That's just how it is. It's just what it is. And that's one of the issues that Roman Gonzalez is facing now. That he doesn't speak much English or any English. He's from Nicaragua, so he's not speaking English. That kind of hurts him as far as being a household name. But I'm still not going to take his skill set and his talent away from him. I'll never do that. You know what I mean? The boy can fight, but it's just once you below featherweight, that's just what it is. I mean, beat Villarreal. You know, he already beat one Francisco Estrada. And he's on TBR's pound for pound list. Estrada's on the top 10. Now, a lot of people saying they want, because I think they fought at 108 down at junior featherweight in 2012, I believe. That's a random year, 2012, I think. And you know what I mean? And now, good competitive fight, solid fight. One of the more difficult and competitive, harder fights that Roman Gonzalez had against Juan Francisco Estrada, one of the tougher fights. A lot of people are saying, I know Estrada saying he wants to rematch. Roman Gonzalez said he's open to it. But when they fought, I personally, good fight. I thought Gonzalez was the clear winner. I gave him, I think, 8 or 9 rounds. I think 8 rounds to 4, 116, 112. I know 2 of the judges gave him 116, 112, 8 rounds to 4. And one judge gave him 10 rounds to 2. I thought that was a little bit much, you know what I mean? But I already know who's gonna win that. In my opinion, I know who's gonna win that fight. Now you've got the Japanese man Inoue, who I mentioned before. He could fight Inoue from Japan. I know I'm chopping it up. Now I am hearing from Inoue's camp and his management, they're saying they're not ready for the Roman Gonzalez fight yet. Some people say he's ducking him. I don't know. I personally have too much respect for anybody that gets into the ring and takes punches in the face for a living to say this guy is ducking him. But sometimes you got to call a spade a spade. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's ducking him, but I do know he completely jumped over the featherweight division. Talking about Inoue, he completely jumped over the featherweight division and went straight to 115 at junior bantamweight to campaign at junior bantam. A lot of people say he did that to avoid Roman Gonzalez and Juan Francisco Estrada. Don't know if that's true. You know, it's just a curious and interesting move about Inoue, you know. But he's only had 8 fights, so if they are saying that he's not ready, I get it. 8 fights, 7 knockouts, things like that. I understand it. But, you know, it's just an interesting move that he did to skip the weight to skip flyweight and go to bantamweight. But with Roman Gonzalez, the same criteria with him. If you're not going to fight Estrada or Inoue, there isn't much competition any guys that I see at bantamweight, you know, that I can say you need to fight this guy at bantam or featherweight or a junior bantamweight, super bantam, anything like that. So what Roman Gonzalez what he may be forced to do is jump up like 3 weight classes. Jump all the way up to junior featherweight, 122. I mean, if he's not going, if Inoue is not ready for the fight, if he doesn't want the rematch with Juan Francisco Estrada, I think it'll be an entertaining fight. But I think Roman Gonzalez will beat him. I already know the outcome. You know what I'm saying? The Inoue fight, they haven't fought yet, and with Inoue's talent and his explosiveness, it'll be an interesting fight. Like I said, don't know if Inoue. I mean, that's I guess from what his camp is saying, he's not ready for that. He's only had 8 fights. He's only had 8 fights, you know what I mean? But, you know, like I say, the same standard you hold with Triple G, you gotta hold the same standard with Roman Gonzalez. If there's not competition there, then you gotta move up. If I'm not mistaken, I think Manny Pacquiao. Did Pacquiao start off? You guys know, you Pacquiao fans, you definitely know. I could be way. I think he started off at flyweight. I could be wrong. He went all the way to 154. So if Pacquiao can do it, Roman Gonzalez, I love you, but me personally, I have the same criteria standard for everybody. If he can do it, then you can do it too. Be that pound for pound #1 in the sport. Like I gotta keep the same standard and criteria. You know what I mean? You set the bar now. You set the bar, Roman Gonzalez. I like you a lot, but if there's no company, you may be forced to jump up 3 weight classes. all the way up to featherweight and to fight a Guillermo Rigondeaux. You know, it is what it is. That's the nature of the sport. And that's boxing. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's been done before, rare, but it's been done. Now I wouldn't. Now if I'm Roman Gonzalez management, I wouldn't tell him, okay, jump up 3 weight classes and fight Guillermo Rigondeaux. I wouldn't say that. You know what I'm saying? Now maybe they can meet at a bantamweight catchweight, something like that. Which I do think, you know, because Guillermo Rigondeaux, he's not a big guy at all. I think he could probably come down to bantamweight fairly easily. Not easily, but I'm not saying, you know, fluctuating in weight is an easy thing to do. It definitely affects you, but I say to do that, I mean, that's the standard you gotta have with these guys. If you're not gonna get the Inoue fight or the rematch with Estrada, which I already know is gonna be entertaining, but Roman Gonzalez is gonna win that fight. The Inoue fight, you don't know, they haven't fought yet. But I don't see much of a competition there. So he may have to jump up 3 weight. Now, if he doesn't fight a Guillermo Rigondeaux at junior at 122 junior featherweight, fight a Nito Donaire, who I think is on the decline. You know what I mean? Rigondeaux beat him. Nicholas Walters knocked him out. Maybe fight a Scott Quigg or Carl Frampton. You know what I mean? Because I don't think those guys are any rush to fight Rigondeaux. Now, if he's not going to fight either one of those guys, because if he does decide to jump up all the way up to junior feather, from 112 all the way up to 122, skip over bantamweight, you know what I mean, goes all the way up to junior featherweight, jump up 3 weight classes, you know what I mean, maybe fight a contender instead of fighting a Quigg or Frampton or Rigondeaux, fight a contender like maybe what's the from Mexico, Julio Seijas. I think I'm saying it, CEJA, Julio Seijas. I know he fought I think it's Hugo Ruiz. He fought Hugo Ruiz on PBC a few months ago, and after the fight, he actually called out Leo Santa Cruz. I'm talking about Julio Seijas. Now, maybe Ramon Gonzalez can fight him. You know, he's I think on TBR's rankings, he's number 6, something like that, 5 or 6. I think he's 31-1, 27 knockouts. I mean, he's not very athletic at all. You know what I mean? Leaky defense, because he got knocked down by Hugo Ruiz. Almost got knocked out. Then he got back up and he got knocked out. You know what I mean? So maybe he can fight a Julio Seijas. Seijas, his punching powers will make him dangerous. Leaky defense, not a very good athlete, things like that. Not amazing foot speed, hand speed, but his punching power makes him dangerous. Now, if he doesn't make that fight, he can fight maybe what's the other guy from Mexico? What's his name? Ray Vargas, or I think it's Giovanni Ray Vargas. I think he campaigns. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think it's super bantam. I'm pretty sure it's junior featherweight. He campaigns at junior featherweight. I think he's 25-0 with 20 knockouts. You know, he's one of the taller guys in the division. Long arms, solid athlete, foot speed, solid hand speed, not great. Great punching power. With his height and his reach and his punching power, I'm talking about, I forgot his name again. I think it's Giovanni Ray Vargas. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. He's a solid contender. You know what I mean? Maybe Ray Vargas down the road, if Quigg and Frampton, if they don't step up and fight Rigondeaux, then you possibly could see a Guillermo Rigondeaux versus a Giovanni Ray Vargas fight in 2016. I don't know. Now, Giovanni Ray Vargas, and Julio Seijas, their resumes aren't stellar. But if you fight a guy like Roman Gonzalez, you know what I mean, that'll definitely help your resume, no doubt about it. And, you know, it will definitely build the case pound for pound for Roman Gonzalez if he moves up 3 weight classes. That's impressive. Okay, how you slice it? That is impressive. You know what I mean? If he decides to do something like that, then he's building his resume, his case for being pound for pound. You know what I mean? Now with the Giovanni Ray Vargas, if you look at his physique and his body type, he reminds me a little bit more athletic Leo Santa Cruz, in my opinion. I know Seijas, he's been calling out Santa Cruz for a couple of months now. He wants Santa Cruz bad, Julio Seijas, but those are possible fights for Roman Gonzalez. Because right now, say if he wants to be pound for pound, stand down at flyweight, I don't think that's gonna happen. Now if he goes out and say he knocks out Inoue, that's impressive. That's impressive. You know what I mean? If he does that and then he decides to maybe have a fight at bantamweight and goes all the way up to junior featherweight, 3 weight classes, and he's beating, you know what I mean? He's beating contenders like a Julio Ceja or a Giovanni Rey Vargas, things like that. Hey, you gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. But like I said, I hold the same standard for everybody, man. I have no bias towards no fighter. You know what I mean? Being #1 pound for pound of the sport. Hey, man, you gotta earn that. I ain't gonna hand it to you now. You gotta earn that. Both of these guys have the potential to do it. They have the talent, skill set, punching power to do it, no doubt. Triple G and Roman Gonzalez is, you know what I mean? Just that they had to fight over the weekend. So you're gonna keep hearing their names keep coming up because both of them are getting, you know what I mean, are getting votes, got the fans saying best fighter in the world, and I think both guys deserve it. You know what I mean? Now, you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, let me know what you guys think, man. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. The video, I should have made 2 videos about Triple G, but I put it together anyway. Like, subscribe, man. Leave a comment, man. Let me know what you guys think, man. What's next for these guys? You know what I mean? If Roman Gonzalez doesn't get the Estrada rematch or the Nui fight, should he jump up 3 weight classes to prove him? Say, now Pacquiao didn't do it that quick. You know, just go from, you know what I mean, jump up 3 weight classes. That's just dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Maybe take that fight on, have a fight at bantamweight, then maybe a year and a half from now, okay, now you're campaigning at featherweight. Who knows what the landscape is going to be for featherweight, you know? If a Quig and a Frampton, if they don't fight Rigondeaux, then maybe you might see Julio Ceja or a Giovanni Rey Vargas. You might see one of those guys fighting each other. You might, I don't know, man. Now Triple G, he's different. Triple G, the standard for Triple G is he can only fight certain guys now. I definitely don't want to see you fight no Andy Lee or no Billy Joe. No disrespect to those guys, Andy Lee and Billy Joe Saunders. Don't want to see it. Or I don't want to see you fight Austin Trout decides to move up on the middleweight and you fight him. I'm like, no. You already fought Austin Trout. When you fought Willie Monroe Jr. They're basically the same fighter. Willie Monroe Jr. and Austin Trout. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying the names and the competition for Triple G, the bar is raised, man. The bar, and the same thing for Roman Gonzalez. The bar is raised now. So I got to expect certain things. And I like both guys a lot. Especially Roman Gonzalez. I like both guys. You know what I mean? Anyway, man, let me know what you guys think, man. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. What's next for these guys, man? Who you guys want to see? What should Roman Gonzalez do? He's kind of in limbo, kind of, sort of. You know what I mean? I don't see any bantamweight. I really don't see any, besides a Nui, I don't really see any threats there. You know, he may have to go all the way up to junior feather and fight one of these guys. Fight a Carl Frampton, a Scott Quigg, a Donaire, a Julio Ceja, a Giovanni Rey Vargas, or maybe a Guillermo Rigondeaux. Would love to see that fight. You know what I mean? Especially when they may meet at a bantamweight catchweight. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, man. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. The video's getting really kind of long now. Let me know what you guys think, man. And what's next for these guys, man? Maybe you guys' criteria is different from mine. To be pound for pound, you got to earn it. You got to earn that. You got to continuously, like a Florida Pacquiao, you got to continuously do it, man. Anyway, man, it's your boy, The Real McCoy, man. Hopefully, I'm just an average boxing fan. I want to see these great fights happen. And we got some great fights lined up. Canelo Cotto, Timothy Bradley, Brandon Rios, Peter Quillen, Kid Chocolate, Danny Jacobs. At the middleweight, Andy Lee, Billy Joe Saunders. So some great fights coming up, man. And let me know what you guys think, man. Like I say, like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. And this your boy, The Real McCoy, man. I'm out, man. Peace.